Okay, hello. This is the next bunch of Tyto quests that I'm assigning to you. And as you can see, it here, wow, can I click on myself? Here I am in Aspith, and the first thing it should tell you is you have a new quest to talk to Councilwoman Nassim. So you'll notice that the game seems to work much quicker than it was last time we played. So follow your arrows and take yourself to Nassim, so you can see what the next quests are. Now, these are all feeding the population growth and genetics quests. So we have to figure out how to feed the population on Aspith. So again, I made a little slideshow to go through all that with you. So you'll find out that the problem facing Aspith is don't have enough food. So that's a problem we have. So the councilman has us go to the greenhouse so we could figure out how to grow more food. So we have to talk to botanist Zed, like it says right there. So we'll talk to Zed, and we do most of this quest talking to Zed. So here's the botanist, Zed. So you find out that you grow these things called tuffets. So there are seeds over here that you have to click on, and then you plant those seeds and you watch the tuffet grow. And it does grow quickly, which is a gene that he discovered. This tuffet can grow quickly, so you have food faster, but it also rots very quickly too. So this goes with your questions, so make sure you answer that you observe they grow fast, but then they rot very quickly. So we have to figure out how we can solve this. How can we have them grow quick but rot slowly? Excuse me. So they grow very fast, but they rot very quickly. Okay, so here are all the different types of tuffets. So the different types of tuffets that we have are classic green, classic yellow. Excuse me, you can see all the types right there on the side. So we want to find out what's the gene that controls the number of heads. So we got to find a correlation. Let's see, this has one head, this has one head, this has one head. Actually, all of these have one head. This one has two heads. This one has two heads. So you notice the correlation that column 2, it looks like a short one header is EE. Excuse me, but a long one header is a lowercase e, double is an FE, so you can see the correlation is column 2. All right, the gene that controls, that's the gene that controls the number of heads, okay. Little background genetics here. Let's see, look at the column that shows the genes that are rot resistant and compare them to the Zs. So the Z is rot resistant, it has 2 little R's. So we can see what other genes are rot resistant: the double blue, the double green, and the classic blue. All right. So those seem like good candidates. Now the Z rots quickly, so maybe we can breed it with one of these, and it'll have fast growing but slowly rotting plants. We'll see. So now we got to find that has one of Z's recessive growth rate alleles, because that's going to give us the best shot. It's recessive. So if we pick one that has 2 big R's, it's going to get a big R. It's not going to be rot resistant. So we want one that has at least one of Z's recessive growth rate, but also is rot resistant. Rot resistance is a good thing. We want the big R's. But the growth rate, so look, it's got a little m, so it has one of the genes for growth rate. Even though it doesn't grow fast, it has one of the genes for it, and it has the rot resistance. So it looks like the classic green. Looks like the classic green is the best one to breed with. All right, so we're gonna do a Punnett square. So if this is, here's a generic Punnett square. You have to fill out, right? We've done Punnett squares before. So they want you to do a Punnett square with the classic green, which would have the genotype big M, little m, and the Z, which would be little m, little m. So you have to click and make these so they match up: big M, big M, little m, little. And that would give all of these, they give on the next page here, we give all of these a 2 in 4 chance, right? So we got 50-50 chance of growing fast and not rotting quickly. All right, that's not bad. So here is some arguments. This is up to question number 5 now. The classic green, slow green growth green gene is dominant. So one copy will tough it to grow slowly. So it has the M, big M, little m, so it grows slowly. It goes with the first question. It grows slowly because it has the big M, little m. Z grows quickly, rapidly, and it has the little m growth rate genotype. So we figured out there's a 2 in 4 chance. There is a 2 in 4 chance that they inherit the big M, little m, or the little m, little m. So there's a 50-50 chance. All right, that's not too bad. So like we just said, the classic green grows slowly. It's big M, little m. Oh, this is a typo. This should say the Z grows. The Z, I'm going to have to change that on yours. The Z grows rapidly. It is little m, little m. Okay. Continuing. So we have to make sure we change this to Z. Okay, continuing. So now we're going to do some pollination. All right, let's pollinate. Little Gregor Mendel, we're pollinating. So we're going to pollinate, take a look at what happens. And we see, all right, we got 50-50 chance. Well, wait a minute. We've got these larger tuffets. They don't have flowers, but they have sprouts. How could that be? Now, this is something we talked about last week with our Nearpod lesson. There is asexual reproduction. Some things reproduce with only one parent. Asexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, you need 2 parents, A and B, and they make the offspring, which has genes, half their genes from each parent. Asexual, we get a clone, like in mitosis, identical daughter cells. So we've got a clone going on here. So some tuffets grow sprouts with flowers. They're going to reproduce asexually. This reproduction involves one parent, and the offspring has same genes as the parent. So let's do some other things. How's the environment? What's the environment have on the growth rate of these things too? Maybe they got the gene to grow fast, but are they getting enough water? Are they getting enough sunlight? So we need to water them. Here we can see we're watering them. And then we also, let's see, the wetter the better. They like the tuffet seem to grow best with lots of water. Then we have to give them some light, activate the light. And as for the light, they seem to actually grow best with little light. So it's lots of water and little light seems to be the best. Lots of water and little light. Lots of water, little light. That's what grows it. Tuffet right. All right, so now we got to go talk to Nassim. Let's go talk to Nassim again. Remember, she's in the wheelchair, the Councilman Nassim. So, Sweet Ovo, is it a giant tuffet or an armchair wearing sunglasses? That's the Z. That's what's going to solve our problem. So we got to talk to her about, you'll be reading an article here, potential food crisis in Espeth. So a disease wiped out much of Espeth's food supply, increasing tuffet yields by 40%, should keep us from going hungry. And then we talked about some of our notes here. Tyto Academy, botanist in residence, that's us, along with Zed. So Zed was crossed with the tuffet with rot resistance. And if that offspring, and we get a 50, it's variable results, 50-50. Well, if we get one of them with the good results and just have it reproduce asexually, then we'll be all good. And then also the environment plays a role. We have to have lots of water and a little light. So our last arguments with Nassim to back up our claim is sexual reproduction requires 2 parents. Therefore, offspring inherit half their DNA from one parent, half from the other parent. Asexual reproduction, you only need one parent. You get all the DNA from your parent, and the child will be identical. And you get offspring with no variability. You get what you wanted. We'll get that tuffet that grows quickly and rots slowly. The last thing is C. This is the last on your sheet, 8C. An organism's phenotype can be influenced by the environment. Tuffet grows largest with low light and high water. That's the last questions that we just did. So I'll read them again to you. Sexual reproduction requires two parents. Therefore, offspring inherit half their DNA from one parent and the other half from another parent. Asexual reproduction requires only one parent. Therefore, its offspring inherit all their DNA from one parent. The parent and the child will be identical. And asexual reproduction produces offspring with no variability. An organism's phenotype can be influenced by the environment. Therefore, the tuffets grow largest with low light and high water volume. And that's the end. That's the end. There's a stuck in the seam at the end again. So if you have any questions, make sure you email me. Hopefully the game worked for you and didn't have any problems. Hopefully it was fun too.